Hello, my name is Ariel Elliot, and I am the wildlife biologist for Fish and Wildlife at Vallador National Wildlife Refuge and some other ones in New Mexico, such as Las Vegas, Maxwell, and Rio Mora. Today I'm just giving a little short video about for Black History Month, for how I got this position and how I feel about being African American in natural resources, such as the job that I have right now. So I'm going to follow some questions that were given to me, and I'm just going to go off that. So growing up in this kind of a field, I was asked if there's any role models, and it's kind of misleading to me because I didn't really know what I wanted to do, especially getting this type of career, until I was actually in college. So I was already kind of grown up before I knew what I wanted to do. But when I was growing up, such as when I was a little kid, I heavily idolized Steve Irwin. Just seeing him wrestle with crocodiles, just out doing his thing, was just so wonderful. I spent hours just watching Animal Planet, wanting to be in those wild places with him, or just with anybody. It was just perfect. And then my mentors and stuff when I was actually in this field were Mamie Parker, Jerry Marr. They were just so inspirational, and they're also Black and they're also female. And just seeing them and how they grew up in this career, it just inspired me to just do my best and actually join the Fish and Wildlife Service, to get out in natural resources, to just be the biologist that I wanted to be. And I appreciate that from them and from my professors who encouraged me along every step of the way. And for just my other peers in general, everybody, all of them have been a huge inspiration to me. And then what people have asked me, what attracted me to this kind of job, being a wildlife biologist or just in natural resources in general. And I have to say that it's just working outside has always been an awesome job to get paid for, so why not? And some people are they get to this job position because they want to get away from people, but for me it's more I want to help people come to these places. I want people to actually know that these places are there for them and that they're safe, refuge for them, no pun intended or anything. It's just so I just want everybody to be out in nature, to enjoy the animals, the wild things, to experience what others who came before us experienced, and to just continue that for generations, and to never lose that sense of wonder and that sense of unity. And the scenery is just so beautiful, so why would you not want to be in this type of job? And just for a personal level, being in this field is just a way for me to connect with nature, to just come back to a sense of being, just have a peace of mind, and just to just let all the stress from everyday life to just disappear for hours too. I just really love that. I love hearing the cranes in the mornings. I love seeing coyotes running around. And I've always felt that when I was a little kid, just growing up in Texas, just sitting in the wild grass. It's always been fun, and I always wanted to be paid to do this type of job and to just bring others into it. And other questions that have been asked are, how did I get this type of job or this career, or have this career path? And that's just I don't know. It's just I didn't really know that I wanted to be in this job until, I said, my first year of college. And from there, I just kind of hit the ground running. The first thing I did was switch my major from general biology to wildlife and fisheries science. And then I joined the Wildlife Society. That was the simplest steps that I could think of. And then just from the Wildlife Society, I volunteered and went out to Kiker Bottoms. This is when I was in Tennessee. Kiker Bottoms is a wildlife management area. Just going to those small little areas that are just centered around my college just pretty much got me into this field and just got me hit the ground running. And then from there I went from wildlife competitions and conclave, and I just did wild game dinners and just volunteered with state and federal agencies. That's pretty much how I got this position. And then my professor just randomly sent me an email one day. It was apply for this position, which was the Director of Resources Fellowship. And I just okay, let's see if I can actually get this job, which was working with prairie dogs out at Sevier National Wildlife Refuge here in New Mexico. And I wasn't sure if I was going to get it because I didn't have a lot of job experience. I didn't have any volunteer experiences with prairie dogs or small mammals, which is what I would have been doing for them. But I applied, got the interview, actually got the job, which I was so ecstatic about. And then from there, I got connected with Fish and Wildlife. And while I was at Sevier, just roaming the desert, doing my job, doing my little mammal trapping, I told them that I wanted to come back. I wanted to come back specifically to the Southwest, specifically to Region 2 and to New Mexico. And I worked while I was in college, after the internship was over, I just pretty much just kept going what I was doing my volunteer with the society, and just sent them my information such as what I wanted to do for Fish and Wildlife. Like I wanted to be a biologist, that's what I knew I wanted to do. And I just sent them my transcript and my resume, and they worked with me closely to get me a job. And I came back to Albuquerque. I'm currently now the biologist for Viador and for some northern New Mexico refuges, and I feel blessed. Like this is what I wanted to do. This is where I wanted to be. I feel like I am in heaven. Let's see. So what does it mean for me to be African American in this type of like wildlife conservation type of career? It's pretty much anybody in my position, especially if I'm Black or any other minority, you're making a difference. You're reclaiming nature for our community. You're making it a place of refuge. You're making it a safe and healthy place for them to come back to when they feel demonized or just anything in the community or just surrounding areas that they have lived in. It's about pretty much being a pioneer in my eyes. You're making that difference because you're overcoming these obstacles and challenges and all these like elements that are just trying to push you away from this pretty much whitewashed type of career, to be honest. Like in this position that I have specifically, I feel like I'm pretty much changing the way that like people picture others in nature. You're changing the face of nature in my mind. Like it's not going to be whitewashed anymore. It's pretty much like anybody can have this position instead of, because there's always this conception that because I'm Black I don't do this, or because Black people don't do that. Like Black people fish, we hike, we do jobs like this protecting wildlife. We do all that. Like we've been doing it for centuries. We just don't get acknowledged for it. And being in this position, being who I am, being who anyone is, like if you're Black like Mamie Parker, Jerry Marr, you're making a difference. You're changing the face of the story and the history of nature, and you're acknowledging what came before us and what's going to come after us. Like we are pioneers. We're paving the way for others just like us. And even though I didn't have like a background in this type of field or in pretty much outdoors type of field, I still feel like I can connect with urban audiences to bring them here, because I know like you got to take certain stepping stones to get into this type of career. Like I've done that. Like you just have to like just go outside one day and then come back in for an hour, just stuff like that. Like I know how critical it is. And being at an urban refuge such as Viador, I feel like I have a pretty good idea on like how to actually connect those like urban audiences with nature, because I've done that. I've been there. So I pretty much can help out with those people who don't feel comfortable with nature or being outdoors, because I was like that when I was a kid. So, and here I am, a wildlifologist, outdoors almost every day. So I feel like it's awesome, and I feel like people should really continue this. And then another question that I've been asked is, any advice to give to like a young person on who wants to come out in this field or work with fish and wildlife? I pretty much say just take it a step at a time. Like I did, just volunteer, join your wild society or any other environmental clubs around you. just get out there, connect with federal agencies or state agencies or local agencies or animal control. Just getting those small those small like foot in the door type of activities pretty much will guarantee, or like just get your foot in the door with these agencies like Fish and Wildlife. And just don't be afraid to like travel. Like I've traveled a lot just because of my military background, but just being in Tennessee and then just flying all the way over to New Mexico was a big change. But it was actually really needed, and I feel like I'm a better person because of it, and because I wanted to travel. It gets me out more, it gets you more places that you're able to actually get jobs and stuff. Don't be afraid to like take a chance. Like I didn't have any experiences in small mammals before I took my internship, which led me to this position that I have. But it's just a chance, and like you're gonna probably like it, or you're probably gonna hate it, but it pretty much narrows down what you want to do and what you feel like you're capable of doing. And it probably gets you more opportunities because a lot of people don't specialize in some fields. And if you've done it for like a season or two, it can actually boost you up for like a job in that or related to that. So just go out and do everything possible that you probably can.